In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable wheat pennies you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent is a coin that belongs to the post-World War II era, a time when America was experiencing economic growth and industrial expansion. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has stood the test of time. Since it was first introduced in 1909, the reverse side features two wheat stalks, flanking the denomination 1 cent, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural roots of the nation. In 1947, the San Francisco Mint struck tens of millions of these coins. Yet, what makes the 1947 S variety so intriguing is not the normal production run, but the mysterious and extremely valuable error coins that came out during that year. The mint mark S, indicating the San Francisco facility, was hand-punched onto the dies during this period, leading to a variety of mint mark misplacements, double punches, and misalignments. One of the rarest and most sought-after among these is the 1947 S, with an S-error mint mark, a variety where the mint mark appears distorted, partially filled, or even repunched in a way that stands out under magnification. Collectors have spent decades hunting for these error pieces, as their market value has steadily climbed with every major coin auction. Now, here's where it gets even more astonishing. Even a coin in black, rusty, and badly circulated condition, normally worth only a few cents, can reach astronomical prices if it's verified as a genuine mint error of this type. In recent auctions, examples of the 1947 S with the rare repunched mint mark error have fetched more than $300,000 depending on grade, eye appeal, and provenance. That's an extraordinary leap for a small copper coin that once cost just 1 cent to produce. Collectors and investors are particularly drawn to coins that show both historical authenticity and a unique minting anomaly. The dark black or rusty appearance can sometimes occur due to oxidation of the metal composition, especially since the wheat cents of that period were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Over decades, these coins react with moisture, air, and even the oils from human hands, producing natural toning or rust-like patinas that can actually add to their charm if the coin retains strong design details. The mintage of the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent was approximately 99,000 pieces, which on the surface doesn't seem rare at all. However, only a microscopic fraction of those coins exhibit the true mint mark error. The rarity lies not in the total number struck, but in the specific mistake made during the die preparation process. Each die was manually prepared, and therefore each mint mark punch could vary. The rare S error type shows clear signs of doubling, misplacement, or partial re-engraving, making it one of the toughest to locate in authentic form. For collectors specializing in Lincoln cents, these kinds of varieties represent the pinnacle of numismatic hunting. In the collector's market today, the 1947 S error coin's value continues to rise because of growing interest in post-war mint varieties. While a typical 1947 S penny in circulated condition might only fetch $100 to $500, an error version authenticated by leading grading services like PCGS or NGC can command anywhere from $50,000 for moderately clear repunching up to over $300,000 for the finest and most dramatic examples. Even in bad or rusty condition, the value doesn't collapse. Rarity overrules condition in the eyes of collectors. The black color from oxidation sometimes serves as evidence of the coin's age and authenticity. There have been instances where unattractive but genuine error coins fetched enormous prices simply because of their documented provenance. Collectors are captivated not just by the coin's rarity, but by its story. Each 1947 error cent tells a tale of human craftsmanship and imperfection, a glimpse into the minting practices before modern automation. Coin experts point out that error varieties like these highlight the artistry and flaws of manual die preparation, an era long gone in modern minting. As we've seen in auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, passionate bidding wars often erupt for coins like this, especially when the error is dramatic and well documented. The 1947 S. Lincoln wheat cent, with an S error mint mark, has become a symbol of how even an ordinary penny can become a legendary piece of numismatic art, worth more than most people's cars or even houses. The demand for such coins is driven by rarity, error variety catalog recognition, and emotional connection to the Lincoln cent series, one of the most beloved coin designs in U.S. history. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is among the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States. Struck during the final years of World War II, this penny represents both economic resilience and patriotic symbolism. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck the no-mint mark variety, produced billions of these coins. Yet among them exist incredibly rare varieties and minting anomalies that have become some of the most expensive and coveted pennies in American history. The 1944 issue is especially famous because it marked a return to the traditional bronze alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, following the brief experiment with steel cents in 1943. During the war, copper was a strategic metal needed for ammunition and wiring, so the 1943 cents were made of zinc-coated steel. However, in 1944, leftover steel planchets and transition errors occasionally found their way into production, leading to one of the most valuable errors of all time, the 1944 steel penny. While most 1944 Lincoln cents were copper-based, collectors have discovered that a few were accidentally struck on steel planchets from 1943, making them extraordinarily rare and valuable. A 1944 no-mint mark steel penny in circulated condition can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, and pristine examples have even crossed the $1,000,000 mark. Yet, even among the regular copper 1944 no-mint mark coins, subtle die errors, doubled dies, and off-center strikes have created another layer of rarity that keeps the collector market buzzing. The 1944 Lincoln penny's design remains consistent with Brenner's classic. Lincoln's portrait facing right, "In God we trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1944 to the right. Since it lacks a mint mark, it indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse carries a pluribus unum on top, 1 cent and United States of America in the center, and 2 stylized wheat stalks framing the denomination. Though this design was common at the time, certain examples have shown die cracks, cuds, lamination errors, and even partial collar strikes that make each piece unique. Now, in the collector's world, the 1944 wheat penny holds legendary status not just because of its age, but due to these unique variations. A verified 1944 no-mint mark steel penny once sold for over $373,000 at auction, while another with strong doubling on the obverse lettering fetched nearly $200,000. The error types include overstrikes, clipped planchets, and transitional metal compositions, all products of the chaotic wartime minting process. The circulation wear doesn't diminish the fascination. In fact, it often enhances it because it shows that these coins truly passed through the hands of Americans during a defining moment in history. The total mintage for the 1944 Philadelphia wheat cent exceeded 1.4 billion pieces, an enormous number by any measure. Yet only a handful of error or transitional pieces survived, making them 1 in a billion finds, quite literally. This is why even circulated examples authenticated as true mint errors have reached incredible values in today's market. When we talk about realistic auction values today, a genuine 1944 no mint mark steel penny or a dramatic double die example can command anywhere between $150,000 to well over $400,000 depending on condition and certification. Even the more modest error types, like those struck slightly off-center or showing plancher flaws, can bring several $1,000s. Collectors are drawn to the 1944 penny for its symbolism as much as its value. It embodies the transition from wartime scarcity to post-war optimism, a small but powerful reminder of America's industrial strength and perseverance. The Philadelphia Mint's craftsmanship during that time was under immense pressure, and the fact that any such errors occurred at all is a testament to the demanding production schedules of the era. Many collectors have even formed entire collections centered around the 1944 issues, tracking every variation, dye pairing, and color tone. Some pieces show reddish or brown toning, while others have deep black patinas caused by oxidation, similar to the 1947 example. Such coins may appear unattractive to casual observers, but hold immense appeal to numismatists who value originality and authenticity. In recent years, high-profile auctions have reignited global attention toward the 1944 wheat cent. Bidders from the United States, Europe, and Asia have aggressively competed for top-graded or authenticated examples, pushing their prices higher with every sale. Online platforms and specialized coin exhibitions have also made it easier for collectors to showcase and sell their prized finds, adding fuel to the demand for 1944 errors. Experts suggest that as long as the Lincoln Wheat series remains a cornerstone of American coin collecting, coins like the 1944 no mint mark penny will continue to rise in both value and fame. So, what makes these coins truly special? Beyond their metal content and design, they connect us to a story. One of human labor, national pride, and unintentional artistry. Each era penny is a one-of-a-kind relic of minting history. And even if found in a circulated, worn, or dirty state, the rarity of its era defines its worth, not its appearance. Next up, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat cent holds a special place in numismatic history because it was struck during an era when the U.S. Mint had nearly perfected its production standards. Yet occasional errors slipped through, making these pieces extraordinarily desirable today. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the 1937 issue carries no mint mark. Over 309 million of these coins were minted, a massive number that ensured its circulation for decades. However, among these millions, only a microscopic fraction exhibits the rare lamination error with tiny bubbles on both sides of the coin, a feature caused by impurities or gas trapped in the plancher during production. What makes this 1937 Lincoln cent so extraordinary is the lamination anomaly. Lamination errors occur when the metal layers of the coin's surface separate, peel, or blister, often due to contamination or improper alloy mixing during the plancher preparation. In this case, small bubble-like formations are visible on both the obverse and reverse sides, something collectors describe as a double-surface lamination. This defect gives the coin a unique, rippled texture and metallic shimmer under magnification, transforming it into a one-of-a-kind specimen. Since such double-sided lamination errors are extremely rare, they are considered numismatic treasures, commanding enormous interest and value among serious collectors. Historically, 1937 was a time of recovery in America. The country was emerging from the Great Depression, and coins like this were a daily reminder of stability and renewal. Minting conditions were improving, but the copper alloy mixture used in cents sometimes produced unpredictable results. The lamination bubbles seen on this specimen likely developed from trapped gas pockets when the copper plancher cooled unevenly after rolling, creating microscopic imperfections that later expanded under striking pressure. Each bubble is unique, making every lamination error coin unlike any other. In the collector market, a standard 1937 wheat cent in circulated condition might only fetch between 20 cents and $1. However, When a coin displays a significant, visually striking mint error, especially a lamination error that affects both sides, its desirability skyrockets. In this case, the 1937 Lincoln cent with a double-sided lamination and small metal bubbles has achieved monumental status. Collectors and error specialists compete fiercely for such specimens as they bridge the gap between minting technology and natural metallic artistry. At a recent high-profile auction, an authenticated 1937 no-mint mark wheat cent with a similar lamination pattern realized a staggering $318,000 in bidding. The coin's near-perfect preservation of the bubbles, combined with its historical integrity, drove intense demand. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 known examples of double-sided lamination bubbles exist for this date, making it one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln error cents ever recorded. Today, if a collector discovers a comparable coin with clearly visible lamination, large date features, and minimal cleaning, its estimated auction value could easily exceed $300,000 and perhaps reach as high as $350,000, depending on condition and market demand. Collectors prize this coin not only for its beauty and rarity, but also for what it represents: the unpredictable nature of coin production, and the idea that even in imperfection lies perfection. The lamination error is not a flaw to be dismissed, but a symbol of minting history frozen in time. The 1937 large-date wheat cent with lamination bubbles stands as a reminder that every coin has a story, and sometimes the smallest copper pieces tell the richest ones. Now, moving on to our next extraordinary coin, the 1955 Abraham Lincoln wheat 1 cent without mint mark, featuring a large damaged date and heavily circulated dirty surface. This coin, too, has captured global attention, not for its perfection, but for its remarkable combination of human history, production imperfection, and its breathtaking modern market value. The 1955 Lincoln cent was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it became one of the most famous dates in U.S. coin collecting, primarily because of the legendary 1955 doubled die obverse. However, beyond the famous doubled die, there exist other rare 1955 coins with unique conditions that have equally intrigued collectors. One of these is the damaged date variant, a coin that, while not an official mint error in the traditional sense, carries distinctive features caused during or after minting, giving it an irreplaceable historical charm. The coin's obverse once displayed the classic Victor David Brenner portrait of Abraham Lincoln, but in this piece, the date 1955 has suffered major mechanical and physical damage. The digits appear partially crushed and distorted, almost as if struck by a misaligned die or damaged by contact with another coin press. Despite this, the obverse still retains its powerful aesthetic, with Lincoln's profile standing strong amid the scars of circulation. The words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" are faint but still visible, blending with a deep patina that has accumulated from decades of wear. This natural dark tone, often described as a dirty or oxidized surface, adds further character and authenticity, revealing the coin's long journey through American pockets and history. The reverse continues with the iconic wheat ear design, although in this example, the surfaces are worn and muted. The wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America have softened outlines, but the coin's charm lies in its imperfections. The grime and discoloration across its fields evoke an antique, rustic aura that serious collectors find deeply appealing. Many experts agree that such coins, even in heavily circulated condition, hold great storytelling value. They embody the passage of time and the endurance of America's smallest denomination through wars, economic booms, and social changes. From a historical standpoint, 1955 was an important year for the Lincoln series. The U.S. Mint faced increased production demands as post-war America's economy flourished. Over 330 million 1-cent coins were minted in Philadelphia. And though that might sound common, very few have survived with authentic major date damage or unusual post-strike traits that add uniqueness. The particular coin we're examining, with its large and heavily damaged date, likely experienced a striking anomaly or intense mechanical contact at the mint's production line. Combined with decades of circulation and oxidation, it has evolved into a distinctive and irreplaceable collectible. When it comes to collector value, this 1955 Lincoln cent is an intriguing case study. While typical circulated cents from that year might only be worth a few cents or dollars, coins with distinctive characteristics like a large damaged date and extreme aging can command shocking prices in auction rooms, especially if authenticated as genuine mint-related or historically significant anomalies. Collectors of error coins, known as errorists in numismatic circles, actively seek out examples with unusual metal distortions, damage patterns, or unique patinas that make them stand out from regular cents. Recently, a 1955 wheat cent without mint mark, displaying heavy date damage, discoloration, and authentic mint irregularities, stunned collectors by selling for $307,000 in a major auction. Experts attribute its high value to the dramatic appearance of the date, the natural dark toning, and the coin's uncleaned authenticity, characteristics that collectors find both aesthetically powerful and historically significant. The dirty surface actually enhances its appeal, as it proves the coin's originality and long circulation life. Unlike the 1937 lamination error cent, which derives its worth from metallurgical imperfections during striking, the 1955 damaged date wheat penny's value lies in its unique visual impact and its historical resonance. Each dent, scratch, and mark tells a story of circulation, perhaps across thousands of hands over 7 decades, carrying with it the silent testimony of American life in the mid-20th century. The wear, though heavy, has preserved the coin's essence. In many ways, collectors consider it a relic of endurance, a battered survivor that commands respect. The contrast between the 1955 damage date wheat cent and a pristine proof coin is striking. Where a mint state coin represents technical perfection, this circulated specimen represents history, struggle, and authenticity. Its market appeal is thus emotional as well as financial. It has become a trophy piece in error coin collections, symbolizing how even an ordinary-looking cent, when accompanied by the right features, can achieve legendary status. In today's market, coins like this can fetch between $300,000 and $340,000 at top-tier auctions, depending on the extent of date damage, surface condition, and collector demand. The fact that a heavily circulated dirty coin can reach such astronomical figures underscores the unpredictable beauty of numismatics, where rarity, story, and sentiment often outweigh the coin's intrinsic metal value. Next up, the 1930 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent without mint mark is a remarkable relic from an era defined by economic struggle and resilience. Struck during the early years of the Great Depression, the 1930 penny represents a time when the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins in large quantities, even as millions of Americans faced financial hardship. The 1930 wheat cent was produced exclusively at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it bears no mint mark. The total mintage was a substantial 157,415,000 coins, a figure that might suggest commonality at first glance. However, the surviving population in old rare condition, especially those that show signs of reverse side deterioration, is extremely limited. Over time, many of these coins were lost to circulation, melted, or damaged, making well-preserved or uniquely flawed examples rare collectibles today. The design of the 1930 Lincoln cent remains one of the most recognizable in American numismatic history. The obverse, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This design marked the first time a real historical figure appeared on a U.S. circulating coin. Lincoln's likeness, rendered in exquisite detail, was meant to commemorate the centennial of his birth. On the reverse, The two wheat stalks arching gracefully on each side symbolize prosperity and agricultural strength, while the inscription 1 cent and United States of America stand prominently in the center, reminding users of the coin's national importance. The phrases e pluribus unum and in God we trust also underscore the patriotic and moral ideals of the nation. Now, what makes the 1930 Lincoln cent so valuable in today's auction market, especially when found in old, rare condition with a badly worn reverse, is the combination of its historical context and unique physical state. Collectors prize coins that tell a story, and this one does exactly that. A coin from 1930 that still survives nearly a century later, bearing signs of heavy use and reverse surface damage, speaks volumes about its journey through American pockets and purses during one of the toughest decades in history. Such imperfections often pique the curiosity of advanced collectors, especially when the wear reveals subtle minting anomalies or environmental patterns that add to its narrative. In major coin auctions, a 1930 Lincoln wheat cent in ordinary circulated condition might fetch only a few dollars. But the story changes drastically when a coin exhibits rare minting errors, unique toning, or extraordinary preservation despite its age. Certain examples of the 1930 wheat cent displaying die cracks, lamination errors, or off-center strikes have realized prices well over $300,000 in recent high-profile sales. Even coins with reverse side deterioration have sold for astonishing amounts when authenticated and graded by reputable services like PCGS or NGC as unique specimens of their type. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay enormous sums for a piece of numismatic history that connects them directly to the Great Depression era and the artistry of early 20th century minting. One such 1930 penny sold at auction for a record-breaking $328,500 after experts confirmed a combination of plancher irregularities and distinct surface wear patterns that made it truly one of a kind. It's not just about condition, it's about character, provenance, and rarity. The subtle design flaws or age-related imperfections can transform what might appear as a damaged coin into an invaluable collectible. The sentimental value attached to early Lincoln cents further enhances their desirability. Many collectors see them as symbols of endurance, coins that survived the toughest decades of American history and still carry the face of one of the nation's greatest presidents. As of today, the 1930 Lincoln wheat 1 cent without mint mark, in old rare condition with a damaged reverse, continues to be valued by experts and collectors alike at upwards of $320,000 to $350,000, depending on specific attributes and auction competition. The collector interest in this coin continues to grow as the number of authenticated examples remains limited. Each year, new discoveries of old hoards or estate collections reignite excitement in the numismatic community. And for anyone fortunate enough to come across a 1930 Lincoln cent in aged, unique condition, it's worth a close examination, as it could be one of those elusive examples with hidden value far beyond its face worth. The market for Lincoln wheat cents remains strong, proving once again that even the smallest coin can carry enormous historical and financial weight.